Hey guys, let me show you step by step how I created this Nailz by Dev logo magic nail. And in case you haven't already heard the amazing news, Dev is going to be stocking my magic pigments in her store and online. I'm so excited for my US nail friends. It's going to be so much easier for you to get your hands on these pigments. And trust me, they are the best. Okay, so this is the logo. Do not judge my double chin in the reflection, okay? It's been a long winter in the UK. Okay, so here's a little trick on how I do a perfect symmetrical heart. I like to mark the center of the top and the bottom and then create two V's. It gives you the perfect place to start and finish because sometimes I find when I do hearts, one side will be amazing and then I just struggle to get the other side exactly the same. So if you're right-handed, you want to do the right curve first and you want to pull from top to bottom and then bottom to top. Then you want to flick the heart upside down and do exactly the same. Now there's a little spaceship on this heart, so I'm just marking that in and then I'm going to rub away the top of the heart using a little bit of alcohol and my Squeaky Clean brush. Okay, so, oh my god, all I can see is that shit. Okay, I'm done with the phone. I'm just going to leave the logo on the screen. So what I'm doing is I'm actually finding the center of the heart, and I like to do this when I'm doing anything symmetrical. I found the center, which happens to be the thumbnail. So by placing that in first, I find it easier to work out where everything belongs. Now, I really did have to take my time with this because I honestly thought this logo would be easy to replicate. However, even though it has lots of little simple things inside, when you try and do it all together in that heart, it is hard. But if you break it down and just focus on one little piece at a time, then you can definitely do this yourself, and it's such a cool logo. I feel like you could match this to so many different colored nails. So once I've finished sketching everything in, I'm gonna come in and start painting. The logo pink is like the brightest shade ever. I don't even think I can mix that if I tried. So I went with the brightest one I have, which I think was a pretty good match. Now the closest green I had was a 3-coat coverage gel polish, so I did have to do this in a few layers, but it's okay, we move. And I also noticed that there is actually some shading on the hand, not a lot, but there is a little bit, so don't forget to add that in too. Now for the galaxy, I actually painted the space in purple and black, and I just kind of ombreed it in random places as close to the image as possible. I always find a really good trick when you're doing a space scene is just add a little bit of glitter. Not enough to make it look glittery, but it is going to give that kind of space star effect. So I'm switching over to my skinny mini brush, and she really is that. I actually don't have to use this brush that often because it is so super fine, but for this miniature logo, it's a must. So I'm going to switch over to my little cutie detailer because it's shorter but it's slightly thicker and it has more of a curved nib. So by using a rounder tip brush, you're going to get a softer edge. And all I'm literally doing to create these stars is painting this shape. I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys and colouring it in. I am using white for this because I'm going straight on top of a very bright colour. So I'm going to lay down this base and then I'll add in the blue in a second. So once I've done all 4 stars, I'm going to add in the colour, and don't hate me guys, my camera completely went out of focus and I didn't know till after. I'm normally good at checking it, but I missed this one. So all I did was I painted, if you look at the stars, I painted the bottom half of them dark blue, well medium, and the top half a lighter turquoise. I kept them both wet and then I just merged the middle to ombre them together, and that's all I did. So now I'm just going to finish off the colouring in by painting the spaceship, the moon, and don't forget those little tiny dots on the spaceship. I actually again used a white gel paint for those first and then I did the yellow after, just so that we could get a really, really bright yellow. So now it's time for my line work, and let me tell you, I could have killed Dev at this stage because honestly, I've painted some small things on some small nails, but This was tricky. Now I wanted to show you guys this issue I ran into because I used different brands of gel polish and gel paints. The image ended up all different kinds of levels. And so when you try and outline a nail with all different kinds of levels, it becomes bumpy and your outline will be way harder. So a little trick is just to give it a little top coat. And I would suggest using a matte top coat, but just make sure everything underneath is smudge proof before you go in. You'll find that when you're doing portraits and stuff, you probably don't have to do this so much because everything is blended and merged. Now, as you can see, we have a perfectly flat, smooth surface. Now you might not even face that issue, so I would just suggest trying to line your work first, and if it is all one surface and it's completely flat already, then you can just skip that step and carry on. I don't know how Dev paints so fast because honestly this nail took me about 4 hours. I am such a sloth and I'm so mad because now I'm doing this voiceover. I've actually noticed that I missed one thing and it's really bugging me. So just for fun, please join in and see if you can spot what it is, and please let me know in the comments. And I can't even add it back in now because I've used my magic pigment on it, but yeah. And that is another tip for you guys. Once you have laid down your magic pigment, you can then go back and edit your design underneath. When it's down, it's locked down. So just be mindful when you paint it that you have perfected your image underneath. Not like me. Okay, so once I've done the black outline, I'm gonna add in those nails. Now, I just laid down a white base, I cured it, and then I went in with the tiniest detailed lines ever. I think this was the smallest thing out of any of the nail. So also with my white gel, I'm gonna add in some stars, and I wanted to kind of make that right one slightly bigger than the rest. And then doing the cross method, I'm gonna actually turn that into a star. Now I'm adding in that white outline and everything is just coming together. It's looking amazing. So for the rest of the nail, I really wasn't sure where I was going with this, but I knew I wanted to do something bright and Halloween-y. And when I think of Dev, I definitely think of her profile picture with the bright yellow hat. So I thought this color was perfect. And then for the rest of the nail, I wanted to do one of those heart spiders we all see at Halloween. These spider webs are really easy to do for Halloween, guys. You just literally draw your heart and then you just imagine the whole thing as a spider web and do your standard lines. So I start with a cross and then I do my diagonal lines. Then I fill those in with all the little tiny curved ones. So now I've finished my design. I'm gonna mix up my magic pigment and I'm gonna use a 50% top coat and a 50% powder. You can add more powder and you will get a darker color, but that's completely optional. Now this is the scary part because I have to cover the whole design in my black magic pigment. Oh my god. At first I tried to do like some pretty hearts in the middle to see if I could get away with keeping some color in there and it not looking like Dev's logo, but yeah, I couldn't get away with it. Dev's logo is one of a kind, so I ended up just covering the whole thing, but it still looked really, really cool. So once I painted the heart, I cured that in the lamp. However, now I had the issue of trying to hide the spaceship and I didn't know what to do. So I actually decided to also add a spider. So I used the magic pigment to do the body of the spider and cover the spaceship. Then I used my black gel paint to do the legs and add a head so that when the magic pigment is invisible, there is still a spider there. Otherwise the legs are just gonna look weird. Now as you can see, it's going all kinds of funny colors because I'm putting it in and out the lamp. Just to add a little bit of color, I added some pink into some of those cobweb squares. To finish, I top coated. Okay, are you ready for the magic? So I'm using a hairdryer to heat this up. Just be careful if you are doing that yourself. You just don't want to burn your hands. So guys, if you are in the US, you can get your hands on this from Dev's store and online this month. I promise you we won't be long, and you're going to want to get your hands on the red and the black because we will be doing a competition based on those two pigments, and the winner will win the brand new collection. I hope you love this tutorial, guys. Please check out my socials. I have so many magic nails over there, and thank you for watching.